Hi, Tom here. Libra. Last week, asked you to notice where you've been bending, where balance came at the cost of your own clarity, where keeping the peace quietly require you to hold back parts of yourself. This week is different. This week isn't about weighing options. It's about making a decision and standing in it. From a Vedic perspective, the energy now shifts from internal evaluation into outward alignment. In simple terms, you've considered enough. Now something needs to be chosen. And for you, that can feel uncomfortable. Not because you don't know what you want, but because you're deeply aware of how choices affect others. You may feel subtle tension later this week. Not conflict and not chaos. Just the awareness that staying neutral is no longer honest. And neutrality, when it delays truth, becomes self-abandonment. Libra. Your gift is perspective. You see multiple sides. You understand nuance. You feel the emotional atmosphere of a room instinctively. But this week teaches you something essential. Harmony that excludes you isn't harmony. It's silence. You may notice moments where you feel pulled to agree out of habit, to smooth things over, to delay a decision so no one feels uncomfortable. Pause. Discomfort isn't always a sign you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's a sign you're finally being real. So here's the deeper lesson this week. You don't owe balance at the expense of your truth. You don't need permission to prioritize yourself. And choosing yourself doesn't mean rejecting others. It means showing up honestly instead of halfway. This week may present situations where clarity is required. A relationship dynamic that needs definition. A decision that's been postponed for far too long. A boundary that's been implied but never stated. These moments aren't here to destabilize your life. They're here to realign it. You may also feel a release as you stop over-explaining. As you say less, but mean more. That's growth. Clarity doesn't need justification. It needs conviction. There's also an internal recalibration happening. You may realize how often you've been negotiating with yourself, second-guessing what you feel, reframing your needs to sound more acceptable. This week invites you to stop negotiating your truth. Not aggressively, just firmly. Now, let's talk aligned action. One intentional move for you this week. Make one decision based solely on what feels aligned, not what feels fair to everyone else. No debate, no overthinking. Just alignment. That choice will create more balance than any compromise ever could. As you do this, notice how your body responds. Less tension, more ease, a sense of self returning. That's your energy stabilizing around honesty. Libra. This week marks a shift for you. From keeping balance to being balanced. From managing harmony to embodying integrity. When you choose yourself clearly, relationships don't fracture. They adjust. And what remains becomes more real. And you need to trust that. Before you go, there's something important you should know. These horoscopes are based on Vedic astrology, also known as sidereal astrology. That means we're using the actual positions of the stars in the sky, not the tropical system used in most Western astrology. Because of that, your sun signs here may be different than what you're used to. And that's okay. In Vedic astrology, we don't start with the sun sign. We start with the moon sign, because the moon represents your mind, emotions, and how life is experienced day to day. First, always watch this for your Vedic moon sign. That's where this horoscope will feel the most accurate and personal. Next, I recommend watching for your rising sign, also called your ascendant or lagna. Your rising sign shows how these energies show up in your physical life, your body, your environment, and the situations unfolding around you. Then, you can also watch for your sun sign, which adds insight into your identity, confidence, and sense of purpose during this time. And if love, relationships, creativity, or money are major themes for you right now, I also recommend checking your Venus sign, called Shukra in Vedic astrology, for an extra layer of clarity. For weeks where things feel intense, faded, or life-shifting, it can also be helpful to look at your lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu. These show where growth is pulling you forward, and where old patterns are asking to be released. To find your correct placements, make sure you're using a Vedic or sidereal natal chart, not a tropical one. Once you know your moon, rising, sun, and Venus signs, and optionally Rahu and Ketu, you'll get a much deeper and more complete understanding of what's unfolding. If this message resonated with you, please like the video. It truly helps support this channel and allows these messages to reach the people who actually need them. And if you're enjoying these weekly Vedic horoscopes, consider subscribing so you don't miss future messages for your signs. You are not one sign. You are a system of energies learning how to work together. Take care and be calm.